In this week's Sedra Bahar, we read about the prohibition of lending money on interest, what's called in Hebrew ribit or ribis. You have a similar concept in Arabic. I think it's even the same word. You have what they call Islamic banking, where they find ways not to actually charge interest. So I was reminded of the old story about the couple that go to DFS to buy a sofa, and they're about to sign on the dotted line for their new three-piece suite. Of course, it's on sale. DFS sale has been going on, I think, forever. And as they're about to sign, the salesman says, now, of course, what I forgot to tell you is that you walk out of here today with this magnificent three-piece suite and you don't pay anything for 6 months. And the husband says to the wife, we better run away. They've heard about us. So what's the problem with interest? So one of the classic explanations is very simple. When you do things, you lend money to people, if you're a money lender or a loan shark, but even if you're a legitimate money lender, you give someone a sum of money and then for the next however many months or years, they pay you money and you can sit at home and do nothing while your money earns money. It might be a good investment, but there's no work on your part. You give them the money and you sit back and wait for the cash to come rolling in for the next however many years. With a mortgage, it could be 99 years these days. And the Torah tells us, no, you can't do that. And interestingly, what you can do is you can go into business with someone, a partnership. So there's something called a heta iska, where you make an arrangement that somebody will be your partner, they will invest in your business, and then they can earn profits. But simply get paid to sit at home because you gave someone a sum of money, Torah says you can't do that. What's the lesson in life? The lesson in life is very simple. A person thinks to themselves, my kids have grown up, or I've reached a certain point in my career, or in my life, in my social life, my religious life, my family life. I can sit back, I can retire. I can go sit on the beach and reap the rewards of my hard work, whether it's at work, whether it's with your family, your kids, or socially, or spiritually. I've done what I need to do in that particular relationship, in that avenue, in that area of my life. I can sit back, I can be complacent. I've earned it. I can retire from this. The Torah says, no, life doesn't work that way. Every relationship in life, work relationships, spousal relationships, parent-children relationships, and yes, spiritual relationships, our relationship with God takes constant work and effort and investment. You're never too old, you never retire. And I was reflecting on this as we reopen our communities and our shuls. And Shavuot, we're hoping to have Kiddush for the first time in over a year, and to start to hopefully go back to some semblance of normality. And it struck me that when it comes to community, when it comes to shul, as a rabbi, I'd be the first to admit that it's very easy to become complacent. You're just treading water. You're just doing what you've always done. It works fine. You know, you have X numbers of people that come to shul, to daven, or come to a program or whatever. You know, it might be a small number of people. It might be a large number of people, but it's always worked for us. You know, we pretty much know what's coming. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Hanukkah, Purim, Pesach, Shavuot, the summer, it's quieter, and then we get ready for Rosh Hashanah again. And we never really shaken out of our kind of complacency. The past year, we've been shaken very badly on many levels, including out of our complacency as well. Because we couldn't just sit back and do what we've always done because we couldn't do it. Either our shuls were closed or we were very restricted in what we could do. And we had to think of new ways and think outside of the box. And with things opening up, it's very tempting to think life will just go back to normal. My relationships, my work, my school, my family, my Judaism. Life doesn't work that way. You can't rely on the past efforts to pay dividends. It is a constant process of investment. And we feel that very acutely now when we have to rebuild any of the things that we've had to put on hold for the past year. Many of us seeing our possibly grandchildren for the first time since they've been born. Many of us hopefully will experience once again family Friday nights, family gatherings, simchas, going to shul, going to social events, going out to eat or for entertainment, etc. And it's very easy to be complacent, but we can't because everything's changed. Our world has been shaken up probably forever. And we have to think of completely different ways to approach things and new ways to approach things. Because the old ways can't all be done anymore. And that's a very tall order, but I think it's also a good challenge because it stops us being complacent. It stops us saying, I've done my work for however many years. We've built up what we've built, and we can sit back and wait for the reward to come in. It doesn't work that way. It's a constant effort. It's a constant investment in our personal lives, in our family lives, communal lives and professional lives, and of course in our spiritual lives as well. There's an old saying, if you're not going upwards, you're not standing still, you're going downwards. It's like being on an escalator that goes down. If we're not constantly ascending and growing and elevating ourselves, then we just fall down. It's tough, it's hard work, but it's worth it. And we have an excuse now, we have a push from what's going on in the world around us to force us to take stock and really think about the things that we took for granted until now, reevaluate, and hopefully have a new appreciation for the things that we perhaps took for granted and new ways of doing things, given the challenges we face. I hope we can all rise to that challenge and not just sit back and let everything pass us by, but we will rise to the challenge. We'll find new ways to engage in our spiritual lives, in our family lives, our community lives, our working lives, and we will never take things for granted or expect a free lunch, as it were. May we all find the strength to find those ways to connect, to reconnect, and hopefully things get a little better and a little less lonely as well for many of us. I wish everyone Shabbat Shalom.